It's not often that someone makes such a profound impact in such a short time. Yet in just a decade, Katherine Wall left a lasting mark on UMass Boston Athletics. The three-sport athlete and UMass Boston Hall of Famer was a star on and off the field for her 4 years with the Beacons as she journeyed back to be an assistant coach. Yet her time was cut short as she passed away this past September due to her third bout with breast cancer. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Beacon. I'm your host, Haley Dutton. This week, we honor Katherine Wall and look at what other teams are doing to honor her as well.
I met Wall, and that's how we all refer to her as Wall, in the fall of '04 when she entered here as a very immature, hyper freshman who was planning on playing 3 sports here. I didn't find out we were actually distantly related until she was entering her senior season. And to be honest with you, when I found that out through a phone call from her mom and my mom, I thought to myself, oh, I'm related to the craziest kid at UMass Boston. But crazy in a fun way, because I love Katherine Wall.
I always looked up to her, no matter what she did, even as a person, but especially as an athlete. She was an awesome role model. And then I got to high school, and I was lucky enough to have her as a coach for hockey for 3 years. And not only was she very educated, but she was the funniest person I've ever met. She always made serious situations into a little more positive and always got a smile on my face no matter what.
I've never coached a player as tough as her. What she went through to be on the field, the ice, and the softball field, I don't know how she did it, and that just shows how much she loved the athletics programs and the sports she played. Not having her there for her day, there was an emptiness inside.
And she was a 3-sport athlete and excelled in all 3 sports, and that's not something that is really typical of any division. But being a collegiate athlete and having so much success in each sport has really, contributed to the success and the growth of each particular sport that she played in, whether it was hockey or soccer or softball. All 3 programs, have really kind of moved forward, and it was athletes like Wall, that really helped us build the foundation going forward.
She fell very, very ill, and we needed to get her home. And as a Beacon family, we came together and sat down and talked about it and what we could do to help her family and especially Katherine get home where she needed to be. And so we started a GoFundMe page, and not even 10 hours, we had $16,000. It was unreal to see how many people actually cared, and it shows how much Katherine had an impact on every single one and how much of an inspiration she really is to everyone.
What struck me is the impact that she actually made while she was here. And I obviously see it differently because I'm an administrator, but she clearly made a very strong impact here because, the article that Charlie Peters wrote, who was a baseball player at UMass, the showing of support from women's ice hockey players in her era, softball players in her era, soccer players, as well as other players who didn't get a chance to play with her on those 3 teams as well. So clearly the impact that she made with her teammates and in those programs went much further than I noticed on an everyday basis.
I think our first Think Pink game was when Wall was diagnosed, and it just hit home that it really can affect anyone. And for someone Wall's age to be going through what she did, it really, like I said, it just touched home. And, we wanted to make it special and make sure she knew that her Beacon family from the women's soccer program would always be behind her and support her and do whatever we can to help her.
It means a lot to our program to be able to put on a pink shirt and, pink socks and really actually play for a reason. It's unfortunate that we do have to put, those initials and that number on a T-shirt, but We want to make sure that we can support Wall and her legacy as a beacon and support her family in any way that we can.
I couldn't be more honored. Katherine loved soccer. I would say it was her best sport, and she loved Zombek, and Zombek had a big impact on her life as well. And just to be out there with the girls and experience it was awesome. And I know Katherine was watching down on us and helped get those girls that win that day. To have my girls out there and supporting me, supporting her family especially, it was a good honor. And have the Walls there watching the games was also very touching. And no one can compare to Katherine. But every out, every play, every at-bat I have, I'm always thinking about Katherine. And I just want to be half the person she is.
But to be able to try and work to carry on her legacy by raising money and hopefully getting together with the family to create something that will be lasting, that will benefit athletes in the future is kind of my hope, and that we can be able to work with the family to send someone to sports camp or create a scholarship, doing something that Wall loved.
She loved this place. It was, her mom continues to say those 4 years at UMass were the best time of her life. And there's nothing better to hear that from somebody's parent when you've been a part of it and there's been so much support around it.
UMass Boston Athletics has already raised over $700 for the Katherine Wall Foundation. The next Think Pink Games to honor Wall will be on January 30th, held by the men's and women's ice hockey teams. Until next time, I'm Haley Dutton.